give hope. You restore every heart that's broken.
Good morning. Today is May 14th, 2017. In case you didn't know it, it's Mother's Day. So hopefully your favorite child did something special for you. Favorite child? If you forgot to provide your mom with some goods or services, you still have time to serenade her and maybe give her a foot rub. Here at FRC, we are going to have our youth handing out to each of our ladies a carnation as they leave the service today. Thank you to all the mothers out there. Today is graduation Sunday. There will be cake served in the fellowship hall in between services in honor of our graduates. If you're viewing this during second service, you might have missed out on some cake. Ah, nuts. Small groups, we are on week 2 of our sermon series 7. And you can still join a small group, but the deadline is today. Sign up at the welcome table in the front foyer or online under the Connect tab. This Tuesday is going to be Coffee Fellowship at 2 p.m. in the church fellowship hall. Guest speakers will be Wendell and Deb Brenneman, and they are going to share about their mission work that they did in Mexico. Next Sunday, May 21st, is Let's Do Brunch at 9:30 a.m. This will be in between the two services, where we're going to have some breakfast casseroles, some fruit, and muffins. Now this can be for anyone. If you're new to FRC, if you're a college student, if you're a visitor, or for any of those members that just really want a tasty breakfast on Sunday. We're still looking for a few more egg casseroles, so if you can make a good casserole, please contact Crystal Poppin or Becky Holscher or even Judy Ralph if you can make one. LSS, the after-school program and summer care program for kids, is looking for bus drivers both for the summer and for the fall. You must be 21 years of age. Please contact Tim Klein or Ed Van Dyke if you are interested.
Okay, Parker, we're here at the church and we need to send out some thank yous for your presents that you got. I don't know how to get those addresses, but Courtney says there's a way that we can look them up online. So let's go check it out. Hey, Courtney.
Hey, Luke.
Hey, we need some addresses for some thank you cards. Is there a way we can do that on First Reform's website?
Yeah, there is. So first thing you do is go to the website.
Okay.
And then over here on the right, there's an FRC member. So we go ahead and click on that. And you haven't used this site
no,
before,
I
have
need to
you?
register.
Okay, so click on register.
All right, you hold the baby.
Okay. And then just fill out all your information. Make sure you put your full name. Awesome, and then click register.
Awesome.
Now, before we get any further, we have to make sure Lisa has you approved. So we have to go check with her on that.
Lisa! Thanks, Lisa. Okay, so now I got this email that says that I've been approved, made the list,
Awesome.
made the cut. So now I can hit this and go right to the website, right?
Yep, just click that
Okay.
link and it'll take you to the website.
All right.
And then you're gonna go under FRC member and
Okay.
click on directory.
Directory, right here.
Yep.
Okay.
And once it says directory, scroll down and you have two options. So you have the photo directory or the address directory. So we'll go the address directory.
Address directory.
So click the link and it'll pull up all the different pages of the address directory.
There we go. That's what I needed.
Awesome. Now you can do a couple other things on the site too. So if you go back to the website
Back to the website.
and scroll back up, under FRC member you see a couple other options.
Oh, I can do volunteer schedules.
Yeah, so you can see when you volunteered for the nursery. So if you scroll down again,
Scroll down.
you can click view nursery schedule
Nursery
here.
schedule.
And there you go. There's a couple other schedules too, so you can check when you have to help out at church.
8:30 or the 10:30 service. Which one you gonna work?
Luke, if you want to, you can also sign up to be a volunteer on the website.
Okay.
So you can go under resources.
Resources.
And find volunteer signups.
Volunteer signups.
And then scroll down and there's a lot of options
Oh
to
yeah.
find the best place to suit your needs.
And if I don't know, I can just contact Janet.
There you go.
How about that?
Well, that's it for our news today. I'm Luke Bowe, and this is Parker Bowe. Now, we invite you to stand up and shake a hand, or if your mother is close by, give her a big old sloppy wet kiss.
At this time, I invite our graduates to come on up. And then Lane, if you want to get those slides. Thank you. So graduating seniors, before we go ahead and hop to the slides, I just want to say a few words to you this morning. When I think of something like graduation Sunday, I think it's so easy to come up with all these kind of cliche sayings, but first off, we want to give you a round of applause of congrats. And we just want to let you know as a church that we are very proud of you, and we hope that as you move to this next step in life, that you continue to flourish in your faith, that you continue to grow deeper. And with that this morning, we also have a gift for you. You'll have to sort through them yourselves to make sure you got the right one. But yours is pink. There you go. All right, so yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself. Say where you're going to be going and what school you're graduating from.
I'm Jacob DeVos. I'm graduating from Harrisburg High School, and I'll be going to USD to study enroll in the physician's assistant program.
My name's Callie. I graduated from my house, and I am actually certified to be a personal trainer. And so I will actually be working now as a trainer in gyms around town. And then if I decide that I like it that much, then I might go to USF and get an exercise science degree.
I'm Levi DeWitt. I graduated from Sioux Falls Christian. I'll be attending Bethel in Minnesota, and I will be going for physical therapy.
Congrats, you guys. Callie, I was waiting for you to say that, so we're proud of you. Okay, but we're proud of you all, and just to let you know, we do have some extra cake left, so after the service or on your way back from the bathroom, if you want to grab some cake, you can go ahead and do that. But we're going to pray for these guys. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, God, we pray for our graduates, and as they take this big step of change in their lives, God, I pray for them. I pray for their families, for those that are experiencing this empty nest stage. And God, I pray that they would, when they go to college, that God, that they would flourish as individuals, that God, that they would really get to know who they are and who they are in you, and really begin and launch into owning their faith. So God, I pray that boldly for each of them. And God, thank you so much that they were able to get to this point in their life and graduate from high school. Amen.
Would you sing with us this morning?
When I walk through deep waters, I know that you will be with me. When I'm standing not be overcome. And through the valley of the shadow, I will not fear. I am not alone. I am not alone. You will go before me. You will never leave me. I am not alone. I am not alone. You will go before me. You will never leave me. In the midst of deep sorrow, I see your light is breaking through. A darker night will not overtake me. I am pressing into you. And Lord, you fight my every battle. And I will not fear. I am not alone. I am not alone. You will go before me. You will never leave me. I am not alone. I am not alone. You will go before me. You will never leave me. You amaze me, redeem me. You call me as your own. You amaze me, redeem me. You call me as your own. You amaze me, redeem me. You call me as your own. You amaze me, redeem me. You call me as your own. You're my strength, you're my defender. You're my refuge in the storm. And through these trials, you've always been faithful. You bring healing to my soul. I am not alone. I am not alone. You will go before me. You will never leave me. I am not alone. I am not alone. You will go before me. You will never leave me. I am not alone. I am not alone. You will come before me. You will never leave me. I am not alone. I am not alone. You will come before me. You will never leave me. shake. The stone was rolled away. This perfect love could not be overcome. Now death, where is your sting? Our resurrected King has risen you defeated. Forever He is glorified. Forever He is lifted high. Forever He is risen. He is alive. He is alive. The ground began to shake. The ground began to shake. The stone was rolled away. This perfect love cannot be overcome. Now death, where is your sting? Our resurrected King has rendered you defeated. Forever He is glorified. Forever He is lifted high. Forever He is risen. He is alive. He is alive. We sing hallelujah. We sing hallelujah. We sing hallelujah. The Lamb is overcome. We sing hallelujah. We sing hallelujah. We sing hallelujah. The Lamb is overcome. We sing hallelujah. We sing hallelujah. We sing hallelujah. More time. The Lamb is overcome. We sing hallelujah. We sing hallelujah. We sing hallelujah. The Lamb is overcome. Forever He is glorified. Forever He is lifted high. Forever He is risen. He is alive. He is alive. One more time. Forever He is glorified. Forever He is lifted high. Forever He is risen. He is alive. He is alive. Sing this with me. Worthy of every song we could ever sing. Worthy of all the praise we could ever bring. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh God. Sing Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save.
Lord, you're worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. We live for you. So holy, there is no one like you. There is none besides you. Open up mine eyes in wonder and show me who you are, and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. You are holy, God. You are worthy, holy God. Sing worthy. Worthy of every song we could ever sing. Back to the verse. Worthy of every praise we could ever bring. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh God. Sing Jesus, Jesus, the only one who could ever sing. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh, we live for you. Sing holy, so holy. There is no one like you. There is none besides you. Open up mine eyes in wonder and show me who you are, and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around. Holy, holy, there is no one like you. There is none besides you. Open up mine eyes in wonder and show me who you are, and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Lead me in your love. Lead me in your love. So I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation, and I will put my trust in you alone, and I will not be shaken, and I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation, and I will put my trust in you alone, and I will not be shaken, and I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation, and I will put my trust in you alone, and I will not be holy, sing holy. There is no one like you. There is none besides you. Open up mine eyes in wonder and show me morning. So God, will build our life on your love, on your word, and on your promises, Lord. Lord, our praises is just our feeble response of appreciation of what you've done for us. And so let our praises this morning join with the praises of thousands across the globe, Lord, just lifting your kingdom high, lifting your praises high. Lord, you are worthy, and you're holy, and we love you, Lord. You may be seated. At this time, we'll invite our deacons to receive our offering.
Good morning, everybody. I have to tell you that I got up this morning and I kind of was on this, like, I think I'm gonna dress nice kick, and this morning I was like, I'm gonna go all out with the French cuff and the cufflinks and everything. It's Mother's Day, and I got here, and I don't expect y'all to really be the dressy up ones, but Jeff, wherever you're at in the darkness, I appreciate, Jeff looks very dapper this morning as well. I got to first service, and it was neon Under Armour polo day and not dress up nice day. I was like, well, all right. I didn't get the memo that now that Mother's Day comes, you can plant your flowers and wear khakis and polos to church. So, my attire may change a bit moving forward. A few things. We're going to pray for everybody this morning. I know that, Sam, where you at? Are you back there somewhere? Yeah, you better stand up so everybody can stare at you for like 23 seconds. Hold there, you still got like 22 seconds left. Sam is going to officer training school. Steve just grabbed me in the back. So we're going to be praying for Sam as he heads out to do that. You can sit down now. Great job. And then you can pray for, there's a whole list. I saw the Holloway crew back there. Levi, is he keeping things down now? Better? Better? Yeah. Nice. Just keep pumping him full of that weird LaCroix stuff and he'll be all right. Some of y'all have no idea what I'm talking about. Instagram is a picture, you know, like the cheap bootleg seltzer water stuff that you buy. Where do you get that at?
Menards with the 11% rebate.
Rochelle's maiden name is DeGroat, if you are wondering. You could be praying also for my Gramps. We moved from, he had a couple of bad days and he decided, that's it, I'm going home. And his house from the nursing home is about 2 to 3 blocks. Big blocks, but blocks. And when he went out for a walk outside, he has his walker because he can't see, and the ladies go, okay, Kenny, let's go inside. And he just kept on and going. And so he's just having some struggles, and he came up here. He's checked in at a Vera up here to kind of work on some depression and anxiety issues as you kind of get older, and some struggles going through. And you can be praying for my Aunt P. She came last night from Dallas and had a Oklahoma City layover in the middle of the flight because...
This is your captain speaking. We suddenly only have one engine. Please put your head between your knees and prepare for impact.
But she made it. And Carrie was the awesome wife last night at 1 a.m. that went to pick up Aunt P at the airport so that I could actually sleep a little bit to preach this morning. So make sure that you lean over or you get your phone out and you text your mamas and say, thank you for being my mom. And that doesn't necessarily mean the one that birthed you. Sometimes the one that raised you is a little different too. So keep those things in mind. I'm going to pray, and then you will need your telephone in a moment. So, God, I pray this morning, just as the fans blow, that your Spirit would as well. Your wind, your Spirit, your Ruach, the thing that gives us life and breath would blow through this place and we would be refreshed. I pray for the struggles, anxieties, the physical ailments that keep us down, the paths before us, the schooling, all of those things, the end of the year, the graduations, that all of these things we would know and rest assured that they are held in your hand. That not a hair on our head is unknown, and not a sand on the seashore is unknown, that you hold all of those things, and yet in the midst of everything, you've said that we are very good. So Lord, come this morning. Refresh us with your Spirit, and let us enjoy a time of maybe a few smiles, some cake in the fellowship hall, and a little bit of good old loving on our mamas. Amen. Okay, so we are in the series 7, and before we get to what we're going to do this morning, I want to give you the opportunity, because now is the only time, really not the only time, but the last time that you can sign up for the small groups. And we actually probably have more than we need in some of the small groups, but that's a good thing that we'll conquer as we need to. But it's a good way for y'all to kind of get connected, meet some new people, get some intermingling between some first service folks, some maybe generations that kind of get together. So Lane, will you hit that other input over there? And so here's what I'm going to do. Not ultimate guitar, we're going to go first. And I'm just going to the website, firstreformedsfsd.com. No, not Lowe's. Did that pop? Did I touch that like right at the exact same time? I got it. Oh man. Give them your email once and they send you like 4 every single day. I'm going to put you on the banned list. Okay, from the website as it's kind of loading, all you have to do is on the far left side, you click on the little expander button. I call that the pancakes. You click on the pancakes on the left, click connect right here. When connect comes up, you're going to see all these options, small groups. Boom. When small groups comes up, no. There we go. Scroll down, and it's all right here. Select when. Oh, you took off the community. We had a small group that was like 30 in it, and we're like, well, that's not a small group anymore. So there's 3 left that you can sign up for, different times and stuff, and then just enter in the appropriate info. Click submit down at the bottom, and Lisa will send you the info that you need. But this is the last week that you can sign up for them during this series. Okay, Lane, you can go back to the... I swiped away that one. That was a hi from the Drenth family for all of you. Telephone, go down there. Okay. So this morning we are in 7. This is the second week, and it just so happens that we're going to be talking about the life of a very prominent figure in the Old Testament. So before I really get into that, imagine we're going to take 2 different veins this morning, and our story begins with a man at a well. Actually 2 men at a well, but separated by generations apart. They lean against a well, and the sun beats down, and it's midday, and they look off in the distance, and they see a woman approaching. As she approaches, I often think that the first man begins to recount the journey. As her steps get closer, he begins to think of the 500-mile-plus journey that he's gone from his family's homeland in Beersheba all the way up to this land called Haran. Haran is in what we would consider now modern-day Turkey. So think where Israel is all the way up to Turkey. This man's name is Jacob. As Jacob leans against the well, I imagine that he thinks of those things of his childhood. 500 miles is a long way to go, and it's not on an airplane, and very likely he didn't have a camel or a horse or something to ride, and so a lot of it was walking. step after step. The dirt dust in your mouth, kind of the yuckies in the corner. And he begins to think of, how is it that I can have a twin brother and be so different? He's like hairy, like he's got the hair shirt on everywhere on his body. And he's all red, and he smells funny, and I just don't get it. Because Jacob was a little more a mama's boy, I guess. So Jacob's parents are Abraham's son, Isaac, and his mother, Rebekah. And within this situation, Esau, the firstborn, his older brother, was the hairy one. Reddish colored skin, came out literally seconds before him in the womb, and he was his father's favorite, because he was like the hairy beast that hunted food and tilled the crops, and Jacob was a little less. And so one day he's in the kitchen and he's stirring the soup and he's helping his mother, and Esau comes in and he's like, "Oh, I'm so hungry." He's like, "If you're hungry, I got some soup right here, but it'll cost you your birthright. I mean, it's 2 seconds ahead of me, but it's going to cost you." It's like, "Whatever, mama's boy, give me the soup." And so he trades away his birthright for literally a bowl of beans. Does anybody like lentil soup? Weirdos, we're weird. Yeah, Oh, lentil soup does not, I'm sorry, you guys are not that weird. You're just in the vast minority, or everybody else was too scared to raise their hand. Lentil soup, beans and bread, and he gives away his birthright. Weird. How does this happen? And as Jacob begins to reflect further on in the story, those miles stack up, mile after mile, step after step. He thinks of the struggle that got him to this place. How as his father Isaac was getting old and his sight was failing him, and he got to that place where he's called Esau, and he said, "Son, come. Go out, hunt that wild game and make it the way that I like. Cook that meat just the way. Bring me that petite sirloin with the bacon wrapped around it, grilled to medium, so it's very pink but no red, and bring it to me so I can eat it. And I will give you a blessing." Now keep in mind here, blessing in this context is more than just like what we would think of as blessing. Blessing is literally in the place where Isaac would say, "Esau, you will be the one that inherits all of this. I will give you land, title, servants, all of the things that I have will be yours one day." He begins to start that process. Think of it as a handing over. And as he hears this, Rebekah stands in the background and hears, and she thinks, Esau's his favorite, but this is a good time. She runs to Jacob, she grabs Jacob, and she says, "Here, put these furs on and take this food into your father. I made it exactly how he wants, and just receive the blessing from him." "Mom, I don't, go. He goes in, and "Father, I have the food that you asked for." "Oh, son, come, bring it to me." And as he comes forward, he stretches out his hand because his eyesight's failing to feel the hair that she had given him furs to wear. And as he eats the food, he says, "Before I bless you, come and embrace me." And as he holds him close, smell like the dirt of the earth. And he blesses him. He gives to Jacob basically the next step in who they are as a people. He says to him, "These things will be yours." And Jacob stands up as he's leaving. Esau comes in with his plate of food, and he's like, what just happened? What did you guys do?" At that moment, Jacob and Esau went from just being kind of grumpy brothers that, I mean, if you have a sibling that's close to you, they fight. From being that to suddenly be the one that has stolen his birthright, that has stolen the blessing from the Lord, stolen these things from him, and now there is a serious tension. Jacob's mom goes to Isaac and says, I really don't like these Canaanite women that we live around. At the moment, Esau already had 2 wives that were Canaanites. And as she says this, she's really thinking, maybe he'll send them to my family up in Haran, 500 miles away. Because if he does that, then we're not running away from the battle. Then he's literally going to find a bride. So rather than Jacob being the cowardly one that has to run away from his older brother Esau, Isaac says, you're right. We don't want these Canaanite women in our family. Jacob, go to your mother's hometown and find yourself a wife. As he journeys there, he uses rocks for pillows. Now, I don't know what kind of pillow you guys use, but I can't imagine a rock for a pillow being nice. And maybe he bumped his head too hard, but before he reaches Haran, there's the moment where the Lord comes to him and he sees the stairway to heaven, like a song, Slash playing the guitar. No. Like, the angels, the awe, like the, I don't know how to explain this. This is so cool. To give him a reaffirmation, keep on going. I'm with you. As he gets to the well, he's finally made it up to this northern area. He says, leaning against the well, there's a couple of shepherds and some sheep. Hey, what land is this? This is the land of Haran. It is? Do you know my uncle Laban? Yeah. We know Laban. That's his daughter approaching from the side over there. And this is the best part. I actually had to read it a couple times to get it in. And it says, well, guys, it's the noonday. It's really bright out. Now's not the time to gather the sheep together. Get them watered up and go out and feed those sheep. They got a long day of eating left. Because somebody's coming down the road. Did you get it? Or y'all aren't just awake yet? Hey guys, hot girl coming, feed your sheep and go away. How you doing? And they go, no. We don't do that. We wait till everybody gathers and then we all move the stone away so that the sheep can drink before we go back out for the afternoon. Oh. Okay. So he waits. Rachel approaches and they have that moment where like, eyes contacted. Ooh, she's really hot. I'm feeling it. Come on, just do it. The stone, which covers the well to keep animals and things from contaminating it or falling in, normally is rolled away by all of the shepherds, and he does his best to... You can have some water now. Tighten my hernia belt a little bit. Did that for you. Like, no joke, you have to begin to read these things as a real story. He tells the shepherds, run along, I'd like to talk to her by myself. And they go, no, stone's too heavy. And he goes, I'll move that stone for you, baby. Moves it, and that's where we get to this morning's scripture. That was all intro, so hey, we're doing good this morning. I'm going to pray real briefly, and we're going to look at Genesis 29 and some bits and pieces in there. Spirit, I pray that you would come. I pray that you would bring these words that were written thousands of years ago and bring them to life, that we would truly hear them. I pray that your voice would be the thing that falls this morning down like a heavenly rain into our ears, down our spine, into our hearts, so that with every single beat, your voice, your words change us. After Jacob had stayed with him for a whole month, Jacob had gone with Rachel to Laban's house, her father, his uncle. Laban said to him, "Just because you are a relative of mine, should you not work for me for nothing? Should you work for me for nothing? Excuse me. Tell me what your wage should be." Now Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the older was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Now Leah had tender eyes. I'm going to pause a second. If anybody is reading this on their own version, if you got the NIV or you have something on your telephone or the Pew Bible, the majority of the time this is translated weak or lesser or delicate. I'm going to tell you that this is the Hebrew translation according to Ken based on the context, okay? I translated that tender because it holds the same connotation, but it doesn't sound as bad as, well, Leah had weak eyes, and Rachel was very beautiful. And we'll get to why I did it that way in a moment. But Rachel had a figure and was beautiful. Jacob was in love with Rachel and said, "I will work for you for 7 years in return for your younger daughter Rachel." Now, I'll take a time out here too. In this time period, to marry someone's daughter meant that you had to bring what we call a dowry. You had to bring a bride price. He's got nothing. He showed up after walking 500 miles. He's got sore feet and a bad back. And he says, I'll work for it. So when you look at the 7 years, they're not easy 7 years, but he's literally paying as he goes. This is the bride rent-to-own center, I think. Sorry, that just came out. It really sounded great in my head. It's kind of like Mozart up here, and then it comes out and you go, that sounded like Chance the Rapper. It just didn't quite work. Sorry. Now Laban, he says, "It's better for me to give her to you than to some other man. Stay here with me." So Jacob served 7 years to get Rachel, but they seemed only like a few days to him because of his love for her. That's a whole different sermon. We're not going to go there today. But then Jacob said to Laban, "My time is completed. Give me my wife." So Laban brought together all of the people of the place and gave a great feast. But when evening came, he took his daughter Leah and brought her to Jacob. And Laban gave his servant Zilpah to his daughter as her attendant. Now when morning came, there was Leah. So Jacob said to Laban, "What is this that you have done to me? I served you for Rachel, didn't I? Why have you deceived me?" Now, context here. Even think of modern day Turkey. Veiled faces, right? If you've been at a party all night long and you're about to have your bride and all you see is her eyes, if they are tender, that's way better than saying weak. He looked her in the eyes and thought, this day has finally come. Laban replied to him, "It is not our custom here to give the younger daughter in marriage before the older one. Finish this daughter's bridal week, then we will give you the younger one also, in return for another 7 years of work." And Jacob did so. He finished the week with Leah, and then Laban gave his daughter Rachel to him to be his wife. Laban gave his servant Bilhah to his daughter Rachel as her attendant. Jacob's love for Rachel was greater than his love for Leah, and he worked for Laban for another 7 years. So we get 7 years hard labor that seemed like a blink of an eye. 7 more years labor where he actually is growing a family. And eventually, as the story progresses, Laban comes to him and says, hey, you kind of got nothing but 2 of my girls. You should probably have something to rely on. How about moving forward, we work out a deal of how I'll pay you? And as he moves forward, they say, how about all of the animals in the herd that have spots will be mine, and then you can have all of the animals in the herd that have stripes. And so Jacob agrees, and they begin to work through this thing. And eventually Laban decides, I changed my mind. I kind of like the spots better than the stripes. You take the stripes, I'll take the spots. Okay. So what Jacob begins to do is he begins to set up dividers. And it talks about how he poplar branches and things at the watering hole, where he has his stepfather that basically keeps changing things on him continually. So he begins to segregate the herds. The only way that he knows how to survive is he takes one group over here, and then when the ones that are all spotted, he keeps them all together. Literally no fancy trickery, no craziness going on here. And here's what I kind of want to highlight is, the adage here is, if you've heard the story of Jacob in your life, you've heard that he's a sneaky dude. That he snuck the birthright, that he took the blessing, that he's commandeering the sheep and the goats with some sort of weird biological natural selection phenomenon that they didn't have back then quite yet. And now he decides, let's put 3 days journey in between us so that your herd is yours and my herd is mine, and it will just grow. And eventually the Lord comes to him and says, it's time to go home. And he flees. And Laban pursues him. And as Laban is on his heels trying to chase him down, there's that moment where suddenly sneaky Jacob maybe isn't so sneaky. Have you heard that he's the bad guy in the story? Like how the nation of Israel begins with the guy that steals the birthright and the blessing and steals the sheep and runs away. And the thing that we forget is God is with him continually. And who was the one that was probably in the kitchen with him when he's making lentil soup? Who was the one that was with him when he was about to go receive the blessing that he goes, I don't know that this is a good idea? Yeah. Who is the one that begins to change all of the issues with him? Oh, sorry, we don't give the younger daughter first. This is all her family. Suddenly, he's not the one that has issues himself and is so sneaky. He's the one that continually has to strive and struggle day after day because he doesn't know what tomorrow brings. His mom led him through a confusing time. He goes and he travels 500 miles to be walked around in circles for 20 years. 7 years for one, 7 years for the other, and 6 years of this weird herding arrangement until he goes, I'm going home. As he goes home, the thing he has to remember is, Esau's at home. He's totally going to kill me. As they approach the area where Esau lives, he literally separates the herds, separates the people, sends a peace offering ahead. The travelers come back and they say, your brother's coming with 400 scary soldiers. Oh, okay. That night he sends everybody across the river and he sits by himself. During his quiet time alone, it says that he wrestled with an unknown man. A wrestling match that lasted the whole evening. And dawn comes and he says to the man, you are clearly something more than just a guy. You have to bless me. You have to give me something in return. You haven't beaten me fair and square. You popped my hip out of joint. Do something for me. We find out later that this is the Lord. And he says to him, Jacob, from this day you will no longer be Jacob, but you will be Israel, because you have struggled with the Lord and with man and overcome. This is the part where you have to begin to step into the story and realize that every single one of you in this room, whether you choose to admit it or you hide it in the deepest part of the pit of your stomach, you have struggled. You have had those days where you felt like somebody is leading you wrong. You have had those days where no matter what you do, it's not right. You have had those days where you feel like you're walking on a 500-mile journey and your feet hurt and it never gets to the end. You've had those days where you're the one that feels loved, that you love your family and your husband, but you're missing children. Maybe the struggle of miscarriage, maybe something else. Or maybe you connect more with Leah, where you do everything that you can, all that you can. Children all over, blessings all over, and yet no love. Or maybe it's one of those days where you feel just a little bit like Laban, that you literally have to chase your children down. Maybe because you're tired, maybe because they should be on Ritalin, maybe who knows why. Maybe it's that moment for some of you that are older that you go, what happened to those days when they used to sit beside me in church? Now they don't come, they don't call, they don't say anything about their faith. Did I do something wrong? Is there something that I did that... There's a struggle continually. God says to Jacob, you are the one that has struggled. You are not the sneaky one. You are not the one that has all these trials in your way, and you've put them there, but you are the one that has struggled, and we have come on the other side of this. Eventually, he meets with his brother Esau, and the Lord had met with Esau in a vision that night as well, and they were cordial. They moved forward. Jacob came into the land, established for himself an area around the area called Shechem. Now, we'll see this later in the Old Testament, but we find this place again when we get to our other story. I told you at the beginning, we start with two men leaning at a well, generations apart. The man stands beside the well outside of an area in Samaria. And a woman approaches in the midday sun. Keep in mind, the middle of the day is not the time when you walk out from where you live to go and get your water. She is an outcast to some degree. And as she approaches, he does the, how you doing? Good. Can you get me a drink of water? You don't have a bucket. No. But if you had asked me for a drink, you would have received living water. What do you mean by that? Why don't you go and get your husband and come back and we'll talk about it? Sir, I have no husband. No, you don't. You've had 5. And the man that you're with now, he's not your husband. This is the point where the generations connect. This well is known as Jacob's well, in the land that he gave to Joseph, the one that would eventually go into Egypt. A well that he and his own family had dug, the one who has struggled with the Lord and man, and Jesus stands with the Samaritan woman, and we always think that she is a bad person, she's an outcast, she's a sinner, she must have been promiscuous. John's gospel always calls sin, sin. And in this story, it is not there. Because Jesus says to her, you have had 5 husbands and you have struggled every single day of your life. You are the widow of all widows. And yet you come out in the middle of the day under the hot sun when nobody else will be here, and you see me, and it's hard. And I'm here to tell you that there is a stream of living water that changes everything. We all struggle. We all have those moments where we go, God, I don't think I can take another one. I think I'm done. But there is always that place that you have to realize that your struggle lasts further than you today. Thousands of years, nearly 2,000 years since that well was dug, the story of salvation was given to a woman that changed a whole entire city. The end of John 4, it says, and the crowds came out to hear Jesus' teaching. No matter how low you feel like it gets, or how hard it gets, there is always a well that you can drink from. Let's pray. God, I pray that you would stir and you would work. I pray that you would help us to bring our bucket to your well. That when the hard times in life come, and they do, that we would find you right there in the midst of it. And if we can't see it, I pray that you would bless the generations to come and that you would be glorified. Amen.
Would you stand and sing with us today? Skies spin their dance within your breath, and time runs its race within your hand. My mind runs wild to comprehend what no mind on earth could understand. Your ways are higher, your thoughts are wilder. Love came like madness, poured out in blood-washed romance. It makes no sense, but this is grace. And I know you're with me in this place. Now, still my heart, let your voice be all I hear now. Speaks mine eyes on the things that I can't see now. Spirit, breathe like the wind, come have your way. Faith makes a fool of what makes sense, but grace found my heart where logic ends. When justice called for all my debts, the friend of sinner came instead. Your thoughts are wilder. Love came like madness, poured out in blood-washed romance. It makes no sense, but this is grace. And I know you're with me in this place. Here now. Let your voice be all I that I can see now. Spirit, breathe like the wind, come have your way. 'Cause I know that you are here now. Still my heart, let your voice be all I hear now. Fix my eyes on the things that I can see now. Spirit, breathe like the wind, come have your way in this place, 'cause I know that you are here now. Still my heart, let your voice be all I hear now. Fix my eyes on the things that I can see now. Spirit, breathe like the wind, come have your way. 'Cause I know that you are here now. Still my heart, let your voice be all I hear now. Fix my eyes on the things that I can see now. Spirit, breathe like the wind, come have your way. Oh, 'cause I'm falling to my knees. Oh, at your feet I surrender. I'm falling to my knees. Would you make it personal today? Lord, we're falling to our knees. At our feet I surrender. I'm falling to my knees. Oh Lord, we are falling, Lord. I'm falling to my knees. At your feet I surrender. I'm falling to my knees. 'Cause I know that you are here now. Still my heart, let your voice be all I hear now. Fix my eyes on the things that I can see now. Spirit, breathe like the wind, come have your way. You sing it. 'Cause I know that you are here now. My heart, let your voice be all I hear now. My eyes on the things that I can see now. For the Lord is near to all who call on him, all who call on him in truth. He fulfills the desires of those who fear him, and he hears their cry and saves them. For the Lord watches over all those who love him. Amen, y'all. Have a great week, and mamas, make sure you get a carnation on the way out. Fix my eyes on the things beyond.